What's up, everybody? Rook here.
Hey, this is Archon.
Yeah, trying something a little bit differently because we started this off a little wonky, but we're legit like that. We're not going to change it.
Right. I mean, why would we mess with perfection? Because we nailed it.
Exactly. All right, so we took a week off because of some scheduling conflicts, and we do apologize for that because, well, I did some voluntary weekend work at work. We needed somebody because we're short. So I came in and covered it. And then this next weekend, I get to work again. Yay.
Huzzah! All the work.
Oh, yeah. But I had Monday and Tuesday off. So that's all. It's good.
So we get to record on Tuesday this week. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
It actually works out really good because I'm always available in the evening. So,
unfortunately, the one we record the Sunday following this recording will have to be recorded in the morning or afternoon time for you.
which means wonky lighting.
Yeah, wonky lighting. Whoa, jazz hands. All right. So, how has your week been, man?
Weeks. We got 2 weeks.
All right, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Been up to all kinds of stuff, man. So I learned that I just can't play World of Warcraft anymore. The new Mists of Pandaria Classic dropped, and I was like, oh, yeah, I told myself I'd never play World of Warcraft again, but I was like, I'm gonna give it a whirl, and I loaded up and I played it for about 5 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I'm bored. Can't do this. Can't do this immediately. Just canceled it and shut it right back down, and then me and a whole group of my buddies decided to start playing Final Fantasy XIV again because I do like the Star Wars Old Republic, but like I was telling Rook, it's more fun to play an MMO when you have a bunch of friends to play, and with our work schedules and stuff, I hardly ever get to play with Rook, so it's like I'm always playing it by myself. So
yeah,
I started playing Final Fantasy XIV with a bunch of other buddies. There's like 6 or 7 of us that are playing it, and I love that game. I definitely did not log in and was immediately bored. I've been playing it pretty solid for a little over a week now.
I just find it funny what you told me earlier today.
What's that?
You were second on DPS and you're the healer.
Yeah, I was in a group. I was playing. I'm leveling right now as an arcanist, and then they branch off at level 30 to scholar or summoner. In that game, like you start out as one job, but then at 30 you graduate to like a better job. And every class has one except for Arcanist. Arcanist branches to Scholar and Summoner. And I like it because when you level, like, you get experience toward Arcanist, not toward Summoner or Scholar. So, like, as you're leveling both at the same exact time. So any experience you get as one, you get experience as both, which is awesome because then I can use the DPS to do like my questing and all that stuff. And then when it comes time to queue for a dungeon, I queue as a healer and get insta queues because
everybody needs a healer.
Everybody needs healers, and DPS are a dime a dozen. So like, the queues are always like anywhere between like 6 and 15 minutes for a healer, or I mean for a DPS, but for a healer, it's like instant.
Well, so, nobody really wants to play a tank or a healer, it seems like, in that game. So it's always instant.
They do, except each group needs one tank and one healer, and then a bunch of, like, a couple DPS. So it's like you need less, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just seems like it takes forever to get into groups as a DPS, but as a tank or a healer, it's instant. So if I can do it to where I'm still leveling and playing a DPS, but then I can queue as a healer, it's going to be awesome because then I could just get through everything really quickly and get up to higher levels, which is kind of what I want to do. I've played a lot of the lower game already, most of the lower games, so I want to get up to the expansions I haven't played yet so I could try new stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then there was a huge patch today, so I kind of logged on for a little while after work today just to check some of that out, but I didn't get to do much because I found out my new job. I started my new job since the last time. I don't think we've recorded since I started my new job. I really love it.
Don't remember if we have yet.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I love it. But I work with, some other nerdy guys who like to play video games and Magic the Gathering and all that. And one of the guys I work with wanted to see my brutal, brutal Magic deck I have, which is a Sliver deck. And it's like set up to just annihilate everybody and everything. And I mean, don't think I've ever lost with that deck. And I've played with games where it's like 4-man games where they all try and team up on me and I still win because that deck is just ridiculously crazy. I mean, my commander is all slivers are indestructible. I mean,
nice.
It's kind of rough, but
it's not fair, but nice.
yeah. And then it's pretty wicked because the slivers, the way I love slivers because they all play off each other. Every sliver gives all slivers an ability, and I have one card in there that gives me sliver cycling, so I can sacrifice a sliver to find any sliver I want in my deck and play it, and so I can always get the cards I need out, and I just love that deck. But anyway, my buddy at work wanted to see this deck, so I came home and I was like, oh, okay, and I went to go grab him, and I cannot for the life of me find that deck or those cards.
Do you have any storage containers anywhere?
No, not that I would keep them. They've been on my desk or up in my room, and up in my room on my dresser is my other two decks that I have. I have a green deck and then I have a red and black vampire deck. Those are both up there. But my box, I have another box that had my sliver deck in it and then all my loose cards, and I cannot find that box anywhere. I've been searching my house for the whole day, and I cannot.
I guarantee you one thing. It will be in the last place you look.
Well, that's a given. Because I'm not going to keep looking once I find it.
No, I've played a little bit of Magic here and there since 7th edition, but 7th edition was the last time I was a hardcore player. So I went out, and while I was at was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago while I was at the game store for my Pathfinder game, I bought a commander deck of the Final Fantasy set.
Which one?
What's his name? Cloud.
Oh, the Cloud one. Was it the standard commander or was it the collector's edition one where all the cards are
collector's
foils?
edition one? Oh, not all foils. They're not all foils. It wasn't that one.
Then it's the standard one. It was in a black box.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Every single card in that deck, though, is a Final Fantasy card, including the special lands.
All the lands and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really cool.
I've bought a few packs, and I kind of want to buy a few more. I've gotten some pretty decent cards. I pulled a what's it called? The special type of foil. A surge foil. I pulled a surge foil Wind Crystal, which is a pretty sweet card in itself. I kind of want to build an angel deck around that card because it's really nice. And if I can find all my cards, I got some pretty good. I got some pretty decent angels where I can make a pretty decent angel deck. But
the problem I have is I have only played very sporadically since 7th edition, and I have never played a commander game.
Yeah, I actually yesterday when the servers went down, because for some reason Final Fantasy does things really dumb, but the servers went down last night for that patch, and I logged into Magic the Gathering Arena, the game through Steam, and I was going to check it out and stuff, but I didn't even really get to play because when you first start, you have tons of mail, and it's just tons of free booster packs that you have to open, and by the time I got through looking at all the cards in the booster packs, I didn't even have time to build a deck to play. But I did notice that it's weird because they have all the sets all the way up to the new ones, including the newest one and the Final Fantasy ones and all that. They have all those booster packs you can get, but I didn't see a way to play Commander, which you'd think it would have Commander, but I didn't see it.
Think that would be weird.
Yeah, and I was talking to my buddy at work, and he said that he likes that game. He just doesn't like the fact that you can't play Commander on it. And I'm like, that seems odd. Are you Googling it? Because I'm Googling it too.
Yeah, it currently does not support the Commander format, but it does have something called the Brawl format, which is sort of like Commander, but it's not a 1-for-1 swap.
Oh, yeah, it says no, you cannot play Commander format directly on the arena.
That is weird that they wouldn't do that.
So,
yeah. According to the Magic the Gathering subreddit, somebody put in there, does Magic Gathering Arena have Commander format? And the first comment is no Commander, but you can play Brawl, which is a shrunken down version of the format. So,
yeah, maybe they'll add Commander eventually, but you'd think that they would have it already because Commander is like literally the way everybody plays Magic.
Well, because it's a 1v4, 1v3, I guess is how you say it. It's a free for all of 4 players, and they're saying,
most is.
Commander, typically that's the way it was set up to play, but it goes, the client would explode with 4 players, so it does not exist. And then somebody came back and said it explodes with 2 players.
Interesting. I don't know, but I want to check that out because that actually looks like it'd be pretty fun. And I'm not about that life where I'm going to be sitting there buying decks and stuff on there or booster packs. Like, I'm not going to spend any money, but I'll play it and earn like the coins that they give you to get things, just like Hearthstone. I mean, it's very similar to Hearthstone.
That's what pushed me away from Magic the Gathering was almost every new set that came out, you had to buy the cards because they were stopping support of older cards, and it's like,
they in tournaments and stuff. If you're going to play tournaments, then yeah, you have to have. I think it's, gosh, I don't even remember what it is anymore, but it's like a certain, like, you can't have any cards older than a certain set.
Yeah, I forgot how many sets back it is, but
me too.
It's fine for people who do that. I don't do Friday Night Magic or anything like that at the game stores.
Yeah,
I like playing for fun.
I wouldn't be able to play my Sliver deck. I don't think so. I think those cards are too old.
My old Dragon deck, if I can find what we did with the cards, I don't know if we still have them. But my old Dragon deck, I won't be able to run because they had cards.
There's a new Dragon deck though that runs with some of the newer cards that is absolutely nasty. So I mean, you could just update it and still use it.
But see, the thing is though, is my Dragon deck I built back in the day had 5 dragons that were all part of the same story arc, and those are the 5 primary ones. And a lot of the cards, I built that deck from scratch because we didn't have the internet capabilities we have now where you can just bring up a list of somebody's deck build and try building that and playing it. So
there's this deck, or there's this card from the Final Fantasy set that my buddy at work has that he showed me earlier, that it's called Sin. It's a Leviathan creature, but this card, what it does, he uses it as his commander in this deck, but what it does is when you bring it out, you remove all 1/1 counters, or you can remove any number of 1/1 counters from any other permanents that anybody else in the game controls. And then you take that number and multiply it by 2 and put that many 1/1 counters on him when he comes in. He said that he played it. He was playing with his buddies the other day, and he brought him out with 145 1/1 counters on him.
See, I remember back in the older versions that it was a slower game than it is now. These games I see played now, it's like within 3 turns, the game's over.
Some of them can be like they could be pretty crazy, but that's kind of the whole point in Commander, is that you have 20 commander hit points, and once your commander takes 20 damage, it doesn't matter if you, like back in the day, you can have like an elf deck where you just built up tons of life, and it would take people forever to kill you. Where now it doesn't matter how much life you build up. If your commander takes 20 damage, you're dead.
Yeah, it's game over for you.
It's game over. So it's like, yeah. So it just kind of streamlines the game a little, and that's kind of what I like about Commanders.
It does.
It makes things a little bit more fun and a little bit more fast paced, and you have to play a lot better defense.
Even non-commander decks, though, I'm watching some of these clips where, granted, it's luck of the draw when it comes to your cards, but them throwing out cards and then within 3 rounds, it's like there's no way I'd be able to survive.
Oh yeah, there's cards out there like in the Final Fantasy deck, there's like a Cactuar one where whenever he attacks, he gets plus 9,999 hit points or 999 power and 0 toughness. So like he just becomes a monster, and if you don't block him, you're dead.
Yeah, but then you get cards like what I got in my Final Fantasy deck, which gives a -0, minus 9,999.
Yeah,
max damage in the game.
Yeah, there's always ways to counter it and stuff, but I don't know. So my week has been filled with a lot of Final Fantasy and then like Magic and working. I love my new job. It's so much better than my last few jobs. I'm so excited that I finally found something I liked. And it was so weird because like 6 years ago, I like signed up through some staffing agency and nothing ever came of it. And then I've found a couple jobs since, and I've worked and stuff, and like I've been applying for jobs left and right, like hundreds of jobs, hearing nothing back, and then I found that job in the construction field that I hated, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta find something else. So I started looking, filled out tons of apps again, wasn't having any luck, and then just out of the blue, this staffing agency I signed up for 6 years ago messages me and is like, "Hey, we got a job. You want it?" And I'm like, yeah. And this job is awesome, dude. I love it. I get to spend a lot of time listening to audiobooks, and like it's great.
Is it a full-time job? I mean,
full-time,
a permanent. Yeah. I mean, a permanent position and not a temporary one.
Well, the thing is I'm filling in for a driver that he went out because he had to have some type of surgery, and then he ended up having a lot of adverse reactions to that surgery. Now he has to have another surgery, and they said that there's a 0% chance this guy's coming back. So right now they're trying to figure out, like, he can't tell them he's not coming back because if he does, then he won't keep getting his FMLA. But at the same point, they can't let him go because he's on FMLA. So they're trying to figure out the logistics of how to just hire me indirectly.
And
just easy. Like either create another position and put him in it and then move me into that driver position or what, I don't know. But they're trying to figure out how to make it work logistically. They just got to get with HR and figure it all out. But for now, it just works through the agency I'm in. But like, they told me, don't worry, you're not going anywhere. We don't want you to go anywhere. We want you to stay here because they like me there. Because I guess like the last guy, he would go out and run the route and be back like at like 4:30, like just before we were getting ready to close. And like I go out and run the route and I'm back by like 1:30, 2 o'clock. Like I'm way more efficient about it. I can like do everything that needs to be done. So I don't know. They like me there. So. And they're cool people. They're my crowd. There's more nerdy people there, and
just a bunch of nerds.
Heck yeah! And so I started. I finished Ready Player 2. So I started. I really wanted to read through or listen through the Aragon series because I've gotten through most of the third book back back in the day, and I never finished the third book or read the fourth book. And now there's a fifth book. So I wanted to finish that series. So I started listening to that. I got through the first two books already. I started the third book this morning. So I'm kind of burning through those. So in the 2 weeks since we've done anything, I've already gotten through two of those books.
Nice.
So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to, just listening to audiobooks all day and playing some Final Fantasy at night, doing some other nerdy things here and there.
Nice. For me, it's been more work, sleep, get some Pathfinder in, work and sleep. And then I've actually gotten back into Starfield. And those who listen to Starfield Raw, started on the show listening to Starfield Raw, y'all would know that in Starfield, I was absolutely against using any mods because I was trying to defeat or explore everything, unlock all of the achievements. Well, I got back into it and I said, screw this. I'm running mods.
Got bored.
I am learning.
I want to have fun with the game, so I got to mod it.
Well, no, I enjoy the base game. The only reason I'm modding it is I want the biggest issue I've had, and I've mentioned this multiple times with Starfield, is the building of the ships and how they look like a 1980s design.
I was just poking fun at Mossy.
No, yeah.
Saying, the game's only fun if you mod it.
But a lot of my mods, the mods I'm running, I have the Halo armor mod just because I think it looks cool in the game. Halo weapons mods, which are very well balanced. A railgun mod, which is extremely well balanced. I do have the USS Pathfinder, but that's currently sitting in my hangar because I'm not using it. I'm running around on a in-game built ship from the Falcon mod that makes it look like the Ebon Hawk. It is not.
What you're telling me is that you wanted to play Halo with a Starfield story.
No, I wanted
the Halo weapons, the Halo armor.
Let me finish. I wanted a Halo character flying a Federation starship with a bounty hunter partner from Star Wars. Let's add as much nerdism as I can into this game.
And we're going to take all of that and we're going to go find the One Ring and bring it to Mordor.
Ooh, I need to see if there's a mod for that. A Lord of the Rings mod where it turns the points of interest turn into like the Shire and all of that on some of these planets. That would actually be pretty cool.
And while we're at it, we're going to stop by a pirate ship and we're going to find our friend who says, "Hey, you guys."
No, we're just going to have a floating alien, a big lizard-like alien floating around in space that has a ticking sound. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Please tell me you got the reference.
You talking Hook?
Yep.
Yeah, we got the reference. How do you not get that reference?
I don't know. There might be some young kids listening to the show that's never seen the movie.
Well, if that's the case, go watch Hook because that movie is amazing.
It is. But no, I've gotten back into Starfield. I'm playing that. I just finished the Freestar Collective mission. And the reason why I'm doing all the missions right now is so I can get the money, so I can start building stuff, so I can unlock more stuff, so I can build more. Because I want to use the parts I want to use. Yeah, it is an endless loop. The parts I want to use, though, are a higher... I can't remember the name of the skill, but there's two skills I need to rank up so I can actually starship design and one other one, so that way I can actually unlock those parts and make it. Because this I have an idea for a ship here, but I can't get it there yet. But yeah, that's pretty much my week, or my 2 weeks rather. Worked overtime. Realized I built my Pathfinder character all wrong. And yeah, that was tough. When I was reading through the rules, I was like, there's a lot better of a way to build this character to make him more flow better and have a better synergy with all of his build. And I eventually worked on that, so it's running a lot better now. But yeah, let's get into our topics here. Do you want to do the news first or the main topic?
Let's do the news because we had a couple big news things we wanted to talk about.
All right. So first things first, I added this one because I thought this was interesting. For those of our listeners who actually or viewers who actually watch or listen to the show, Critical Role Campaign 4. I saw this in a news article and then I saw the live announcement from Gen Con. Will not be DM'd by Matt Mercer this year. This next campaign will be DM'd by Brendan Lee Mulligan from Dimension 20. What's cool though is Matt Mercer gets to be a player and we get to see how he plays in Brendan's world. I haven't watched him much as a player, so this will be interesting to me. And also, it sounds like it won't be in Matt Mercer's world. It'll be a whole new world. So we'll see how that goes. Now, for the fun articles. All right, Nintendo breaking Switch 2s, even when they use ROMs of games they legally own. Like they take them off downloaded games from their Switch, put them in a cartridge, and put them on their Switch 2. Nintendo will break your system for that, even though you own the game.
Yeah, because it's not it's not designed to be modded or emulated. That's not what the Switch 2 is designed for. And if you use it for anything other than what it's designed for, their little EULA says we'll break your system. And that's horrible. I hate it. I hate the fact that they can do that.
I got a feeling they're going to have some lawsuits on the bricking of the systems because I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense because, like, if I'm going to pay $500 for their system or my system, it's my system now. I should be able to do whatever I want with it as long as what I'm doing isn't illegal and doesn't affect somebody else's gameplay. As long as I'm not like cheating on online games or, like stealing hardware from them, like getting around paying for it. As long as I'm not doing those things, it's my system. I should be able to do it. If I want to make the background, if I want to paint it purple, I should be able to do that because it's mine and I paid for it.
I mean, you're not signing any documentation when you buy the system saying you're leasing the system.
But you
But when you
first sign in, you have to agree to their terms of service, which says they can do whatever they want.
This is why I think there's going to be a lawsuit against Nintendo here, because you don't sign any paperwork when you buy the Switch saying that it's going to be a leased item, that you don't own it. You're buying it with the intent that you're going to own it, and then the end user license agreement says, hey, we can break this at any time for whatever reason.
Right, and that is a problem, because if you buy that system and you actually sit down and read that end user license agreement and you don't agree with it, you can't say no, because if you say no, you can't use the system. And if you don't agree with it, you can't just go take it back. Like, once it's open and stuff like that, like, it's yours, but they don't tell you beforehand when you're purchasing this thing that, hey, your Switch belongs to us and you do with it what we tell you do with it. Otherwise, you don't get to use it no more. Everything about that whole system is janky, and that's why I haven't bought one yet.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm hesitant on buying one. Plus, I use it to play Pokemon, and they don't have any Pokemon that's going to tax my Switch, my regular Switch.
They got one coming. I heard there's a new Zelda in development too.
The problem with Pokemon games is they made them way too easy. I can go back and play Red and Blue and have a harder challenge than I do on the newer games.
Well, you got to keep in mind who Pokemon is designed for. It's not designed for 40-year-old men like us. It's designed for kids.
This is where I have the other argument. Catering to make a game easier for kids doesn't teach them how to solve problems in the game.
Yes,
I had more fun as a kid trying to figure out, especially in Pokemon, how to.
Even as a kid, Pokemon was cake.
It was
The game
easy.
was so easy. It's always been easy.
The original Red, Blue, and Yellow were harder, in my opinion, than the current generation of games.
Depends on which ones you're playing. Like Arceus, that game was tough.
Arceus was fun, and I still do play that one.
Arceus is one of the best Pokemon games they've come out with, and they're about to come out with a new Pokemon Legends game, and I hope it's as good as Arceus because I love. As long as
they keep it open world like that, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I loved Arceus.
But back to the Switch 2. For those of you who are not going to buy one brand new, be wary of going on eBay because there's been a rash of people selling their bricked Switch 2s on eBay, and you might be getting one of those.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be careful buying a used one anyway, especially with this EULA. Like, they're agreeing to it, and then they're selling you their used system, and now you're getting a system you didn't agree to any of this stuff. And there's nothing you can do about it if you end up getting a brick system because technically they're not even supposed to sell it to you because they don't own it. They're just leasing it from Nintendo. And they agreed to that.
I'm really interested in seeing what kind of consumer right laws people start suing for.
Yeah, there's going to be issues. There's going to be. I can already feel it. Like, there are going to be issues. So that's why I'm staying out of that for now.
Yeah. There's also reports of the Switch 2 overheating when playing games like Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that's a lot of hardware to fit in a little handheld. And I've also heard that the battery life on it is atrocious.
Well, they announced that the battery life is significantly shorter than the regular Switch.
Yeah, but I've heard, like, especially if you're playing like a graphic intensive game, like, you're lucky to get 2 hours, and then you're charging it. It's bad.
Wow, that is bad. Very bad.
Like, you have to plug that thing in everywhere you go, and that kind of eliminates the whole handheldness of it.
The next article we're going to talk about is the mixed reviews of Dune in recent reviews.
Everybody's favorite topic that we said we wouldn't cover anymore, but they keep making the news.
Now this one,
not for good reason.
Yeah, it's very negative. As you've heard, we've talked about Dune Awakening a lot, and Dune Awakening in recent years. Wow.
Yeah, recent years.
In recent weeks, this is in the past 30 days. I'm going to go with the last 10 or so reviews. You have your standard reviews where people are praising the game, but since mid-July and up, they have had nothing but not recommended. And this is from people with 444 hours, 184 hours, 469 hours.
And yet they still don't recommend the game.
And
the problem is, like, what did you say it was? 80%? What was it? 75 or 80% of the users have already left the game?
Yeah, the last article I read said 80% of users have left the game because the end game stuff, the Mark 6 gear, is really hard to get.
Yeah, everything in tier 6 is just awful. I mean, once you get to the point where you like the game, you all know how I feel about the game. The game is fantastic. I love the game. But once you get to tier 6, you just can't do it unless you have a whole squad of people. You have to have a squad of like 10 plus people, or you cannot do anything tier 10 plus, because there's just so many griefers out there just waiting for you to come across that PvP line just to murder you. And they're in the PvE areas, there's just not enough resources to go around. There's
Now,
very few, and people like will sit there and build their houses around them so that you can't get to them, only they can, and like it's so bad.
so I play another game where PvE and PvP takes place on the same servers or same server because there's only one, and that's Elite Dangerous. And now my issue is, at least with Elite Dangerous, you know where your griefers are sitting, but it's a big enough area. I can potentially get to my target and land my ship safely before that griefer takes me out. If I try going into the deep desert and Dune and I have to go to the PvP area, there's just people sitting there waiting at that one entry point for you to come in so they can start hitting you with
It's a
rockets.
very, very large entry point. Like it's you can go anywhere up there, but there's griefers everywhere. They're all over, and you won't make it far. And you see these explosions happen where the things are that you need, so the griefers know exactly where to go and where you're going to be coming to get this stuff. And it's really, really rough. And I think the only thing that's going to save this game, I know they tried to do something cool and innovative, but the only thing that's going to save Dune is if they make PvE only servers, where the people who don't want to deal with all that and they just want to have fun and enjoy the end game too can come and play, because it doesn't matter what server you're on either. Like I've seen like across the message boards, this is every server. You got people just out there, just they make it their life's goal to just delete everybody they can find, which that's cool. Like in a lot of games, whatever, you got killed by somebody, it's not a big deal. But in this game, if you get killed by somebody, like you lose everything. You lose all your stuff, you lose your ship, you lose like everything, and it takes hours and hours, sometimes days, to get the materials you need to remake all your armor, to remake your ships. You literally lose everything, and it's such a harsh penalty that like it's not worth it. It's just not worth even trying. Like I got to the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm not even going to risk going out there, and I don't even want to play the game anymore because I don't feel like dealing with that, and I don't want to be stagnant and stuck where I'm at, because I was at a point where it's like there wasn't really anything else for me to do but to go further.
Yeah, so both Archon and I have stepped away from that game until we see better news from that game.
Something changes, yeah. They either need to change the death penalty, like if you blow up like your ship and your stuff and goes back to your last spawn point or whatever, like so you don't lose all your stuff, or they need to do something to change that, because the fact that you can literally lose days of gameplay just because somebody wants to make it their mission to murder you the second you cross the line, how is that fun? Like I get the concept behind it. Oh yeah, team up with people and farm for resources. But if you don't have people to team up with, then what?
Yeah,
you just don't get to play the game.
There's a lot of people. 80% of the people that are leaving the game are primarily solo players that don't want to deal with all this PvP BS in the deep desert. But I thought we should bring it up and at least say, hey, these reviews are starting to get bad. Let's see how they recover, because lately you've been seeing a lot of devs start paying attention to what people are saying, which is nice to see, because since they're trying to make it where they release an unfinished game and they're going to update it as they go, it's nice to see a dev actually listening to what people are saying, so that way they can push out the updates the way people want to see the updates and not what they think will work.
That's the one good thing I'll say about these early access games, is that they call it early access, but it's basically they're just releasing the game and giving you a chance to put in your input and help them make the game better. Like, And a lot of games like Enshrouded and things like that are taking these things to heart, and they're actually doing what people are saying. Like RuneScape Dragon Wilds has been doing the same thing. Like they're updating it and listening to the people when they get one person say, "Oh, this sucks. You should change this." Obviously, that's here nor there. But when you get like hundreds of people all saying, "Hey, we really don't like this," you'll see it fixed in the next patch. They change it.
Yeah,
And
or
I like it.
Or when they're actually listening to bug reports. I've seen a lot of devs in recent years not listen to bug reports. Now, I have heard a lot of good reviews coming from the people who have play tested Battlefield 6. I'm worried about Battlefield 6 though, because it is an EA game. And
EA's good at dropping the ball. I'm not a big I'm not a big first person shooter kind of guy.
I liked Battlefield 4. That was Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 were a couple of my favorite games. A, the story was great on those games, and B, the actual online play was team based, and it was just fun.
Yeah, which is great if you have a team.
Oh yeah, but I've jumped into random pugs, and they were actually pretty good. And for those of you who don't know video game lingo, a pug is a pickup group, which means you just jump into a game with random players.
Yeah. I got lost with Battlefield and Call of Duty and all those. I just, again, griefers and cheaters, and I just stepped out of that realm a long time ago.
Always going to have those, though, until they make a way to say, hey, you cannot cheat in this game because if we got this ultimate thing that nobody can hack.
Well, okay, explain this to me then, okay? Why can you have MMOs like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy or, Star Wars that run these BattleEye programs and stuff like that, that if you cheat in those games, you get banned for life? And people, like, it takes care of the problem, but yet they can't do that with Call of Duty or Battlefield. They just let the people do it.
No, their anti-cheat software Ricochet tries to do a pretty good job, but it's up to the people who create the anti-cheat software to stay on top of all the new cheats coming out. And I'm not sure how well Ricochet is operated in that regard and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. The last Call of Duty I played was Call of Duty Ghosts. That'll tell you how long ago that was. But I played Call of Duty Ghosts. I logged into an online game. I walked like 10 feet across the map and was killed, and watched the kill cam and saw some guy on the other side of the map behind a car throw a knife up into the air, and it traveled across the entire map and came down right on top of my head. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going to deal with this.
Well, yeah,
that's the last time I played.
I watched one of those before, and the person just said YOLO and threw it just to see what would happen and got a kill off of it.
Yeah, but a lot of those are like people who have like software that is like, you throw a throwing weapon and you can't miss, and they just chuck them in the air and just kill people. And it's like, or like one game I got shot by a sniper rifle through a brick building.
Now, what I'm surprised of is there's people who go out and buy this cheat software. Why doesn't Activision and other companies like that go after the manufacturers of the cheat software?
I don't know.
I don't know either. If anybody's listening that actually cares, can you explain that to us?
Right. Yeah. Go after the company. I mean, you pose as somebody wanting to buy this software and find out who they are and shut them down. Like, these people are cheating your game.
A quick Google will bring up who's making the cheat software. Right. So it's not like it's a secret. It's just Activision doesn't want to go after them for whatever reason.
Employ some people who can find these algorithms of these cheat programs and see who's running them and then ban them. The problem is they want money. They want money, so they're not going to ban people because these people are paying them money.
No, they do ban people. I've watched several streams get banned live, and that was
They
fun.
give them little taps on the wrist and say, "Oh, you're banned for 3 days, and then you got to come back, but don't cheat next time." That's not banning somebody. I'm talking like if they want to play again, they got to go buy the game again.
I've watched hardware bans where the only way they could actually play again is actually buying a new computer.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So let's get to our main topics, because that was a lot of news we put out.
Heck yeah. What's our topic for today, Rick?
So both of these have been brought to us by Echo Romeo Lima from our Discord channel. I want to say thank you to him for coming up with these ideas on July 25th. These were going to be our topic this last Monday, but unfortunately, because of schedule conflicts, we didn't record it. So we're going to do them now.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with, I think the first one will be a longer conversation. So let's start with unique game features and mechanics we wish were in more games. For example, destructible environments, certain survival mechanics, shadow stealth system, etc.
My favorite game mechanic is a mechanic that's in Final Fantasy XIV. A couple games have adapted it, but I think it should be in every single multiplayer game that exists, and that is the level sync system. I love the level sync system because with my group that we're playing with, we all level at different paces, but we can all help each other with stuff if the need arises. Because if I want to help, say, Rook get through a quest, it'll sync me down to his level so that I'm still getting experience, and it's not a waste of time for me other than just, helping. Like, I actually get a benefit for helping him, and he also gets the help he needs. And I love that system. It's a great system.
That's actually pretty cool to see. The closest thing outside of Final Fantasy XIV I've seen is Star Wars: The Old Republic, but they do it more in their flashpoints, where they'll bring you up to the highest level and you'll play at that level even if you don't got all the skills. The planets have level caps, so if you're over level and you go to a planet to help somebody, your powers will be massively dropped to be on par with people that you're helping at that level, but you still don't get the experience that you do like in Final Fantasy XIV.
Right. And another huge feature that Final Fantasy does that is by far amazing. It's I don't know why more games don't do it, is their job system. Instead of having to make an alt, make 20 different alts so you can play 20 different characters, you get one character and like you can just, learn a new job, level that job up. It levels separately. You switch out your gear and your weapon and you switch to that job like on the fly. You can do that kind of stuff. And it, like, you still have to level every single job. It's still like having an alt, but you don't have to go through the main story of the game on every single character that you want to play. And the like really boring part of leveling an alt is playing the same thing over and over. You don't have to do that in Final Fantasy. You have the main story that you play through on whatever job you're playing, and then you can switch your different jobs and just, there's others. You could dungeon grind, you can run fates, you can run hunter's logs or things to level all your other jobs, but you don't have to go through that same story over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I am a terrible ADD MMO player, and I can't ever stick to playing one character. I always switch around and play. Like, even on Final Fantasy, we've only been playing it a couple weeks, and I think I've played 4 or 5 different jobs already. That's just my personality. I get to the so far, and then I'm like, I want to try something different.
I know when I played Final Fantasy 14, I did like the fact that you could get through the levels of a job pretty quick, and it was fun that way. But the job system is a staple of the Final Fantasy series that they brought back for Final Fantasy 14.
Right. It plays a huge role in like the tactics games. and things like that. But it's really good. It's like a class system. It's just like any other MMO. Like in WoW, if you want to play a druid, you can play a druid, or a warrior, you can play a warrior. But in this, you don't have to keep making new characters over and over and over. You just play what you want to play.
Yeah, if you want to
When you want to play it.
if you want to be a white mage, you can jump your class, switch your job over to a white mage, and pick up where you left off on there. You want to play. I'm trying to remember.
And you do have to level each job individually. It's not like you get you do get a bonus. Like you have like gear and stuff like that you've gotten, and I like it. And they actually added a system like that into EverQuest too. And I talked about that before. They added a gosh, I don't remember what it's called now. But they added that same system where you can you can switch your class without switching your character and level up a different class that same way, and you just had to have your gear and stuff like that on you. I like it. It's a very nice system, and like it saves you from having to make a ton of different characters, especially like a lot of games like EverQuest in particular. The big draw to it is that when you get into later expansions, you have to do a lot of flagging, which means you have to go through this dungeon to unlock this dungeon to get to this dungeon. And like basically you have to go through this long process to unlock everything. And before they added the system in the game, you had to do that with every single one of your alts.
Yeah.
And it was just exhausting.
One I would like to see, there are some stealth systems I really like, but one of my favorite ones I have to say is, what was that game?
I can tell you what the best stealth system in any game is.
All right, you tell me what the best stealth system is while I think of this.
Metal Gear Solid, walking around hiding under a cardboard box.
Metal Gear Solid, I do like Metal Gear Solid 5 stealth system.
Oh, dude, walking, like dropping under that little cardboard box was amazing.
Thief had a really good stealth system too. But I would like to see good stealth systems universally. If the game has an option for you to play stealth, make a good stealth system. Like, do not use Starfield stealth system. Whatever you do, never use Starfield stealth system. That is the most horrible designed stealth system I've ever seen, and that's from a company that makes one of the better stealth systems I've ever seen.
I'm actually shocked that like they actually patched that to where, because it used to be you'd have to sneak up on the enemy and like
kill them,
kill them or whatever to get a skill up, and that was like dang near impossible.
And now they switched it.
So hard to do that.
They patched it out to where now it's just sneak attack damage.
Right.
You have to
and even that's tough.
Enemy. But yeah,
even that's kind of tough.
At least I can get a shot off with a pistol from range without having to sneak all the way up behind the person to get them.
Yeah.
Now, granted, my stealth is maxed out because they added that patch in, so it was a lot easier. But
leveling stealth was awful in that game.
But they put stealth in the game, and then they gave you, unless you did one Ryujin missions, the Ryujin quest line, you had no way of actually having a good suit to where that dampened your noise. So stealth really wasn't beneficial. But the problem I have with the stealth system outside of the actual stealth in Starfield is when you snipe somebody and your meter shows nobody, they're cautioned, but nobody knows where you're at, they all shoot in your direction.
They all know where you're at, yeah.
Unlike, say, Skyrim, where I can shoot a bear standing right next to it if my stealth's high enough with a bow and it still can't find me.
If I remember right, you don't like really get a sniper rifle with a silencer or anything on it in Starfield either, do you?
You can modify one with a sniper, with a silencer. I'm running around with a semi-automatic rifle with a silencer. It doesn't do the damage of the hard target, but I believe you can put a silencer on the hard target.
It's silly. Like you can't, like you have to be fast,
Mm-hmm.
or they'll all find you and they're all shooting at you, and then there's no point in even being a sniper.
Yeah.
It's just like it's the same thing as when I did my melee build.
Yeah.
I would sneak up, deadly silent, walk up behind somebody, and get them, kill them, and it still alerted everybody. It shouldn't.
No,
I killed him silently. I
if you hit
snuck up
him,
on him and killed him silently.
yeah, if you hit him and kill him, it shouldn't alert anybody. But that's the problem I have with the inconsistency of stealth systems, especially from the same developer. Because Skyrim, if somebody knows or suspects you're there and you take them out, your meter instantly drops back to stealth, unless they're actively chasing you. Not so much in Starfield. There's other games, Metal Gear Solid 5. As long as you take out the guy who spots you, nobody else is alerted to your presence.
Right. Unless he has a chance to call for help, then you took him out.
But
especially like if you think about it, if you're making the game semi-realistic, okay, yes. So I have a sniper rifle. I shoot this dude, and the guys around him are alerted to the fact that they heard a gunshot.
yes.
Well, you're shooting them from so far away that gunshot's echoing around so much they're not going to know right where you're at.
Yeah. Plus, in games like Starfield, where you're in a lot of planets, you're in a non-atmosphere planet, so you shoot. There shouldn't be a sound.
That's also fair.
Now, I did watch a clip on YouTube of a guy shooting a gun, a rifle at 1 mile away to hit. So he had this big orange metal plate, and in front of it, he had a fire extinguisher bottle, an old expired one, and he was trying to hit it. Problem is, he'd pull the trigger and then get into the scope on the other thing and watch how long, because it took 4 seconds for that bullet to travel. And you'd hear the very last one, he goes, bam, and you count to 4, and boom, there goes the bottle.
Nuts.
But yeah, I would like to see a better stealth system universally. Survival mechanics, it depends upon the game. But I love destructible environments.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
One game I was super hyped for, and there's so many people hyped for it, and then it got scrapped, was EverQuest Next. And it was an MMO that had destructible environments. Like when you were fighting bosses and stuff like that, and you like hit them with a fireball or something, and it exploded and blew up part of the environment, it stayed blown up for like a while before it like fixed itself.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Apparently, Battlefield 6 is supposed to have destructible environments. Red Faction is known for its destructible environments.
Enshrouded
well.
Is all destructible environments, yeah.
Well, most of the mining games where you can mine and stuff, are destructible environments.
To an extent, yeah.
I mean, Minecraft. I watch people blow up nuclear-sized explosions and leave huge craters.
Oh, yeah. Creepers. Flashbacks.
Creepers. Just people making these big traps and stuff. Let's see. What other unique things? Can't think of any specifically unique things outside of those, because those are the most requested ones. Yeah, so those are our ideas. What do y'all think? Game universe crossovers that could actually be cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I could think of a ton of cool crossovers, man.
There's a lot of them out there. I was the one of the big things I was interested in is taking a game like Firefly, and
there's a Firefly game.
There was one in development, but that got canceled. But taking Firefly and taking Helldivers, we'll go with that. Those could cross over fairly well.
Okay, that's an interesting combo.
Well, because you got to think, whenever I watch Firefly and I see the Alliance, I think of Super Earth style running things where they're an oppressive regime and whatnot, and it could work. There's some other ones like I'm doing in Starfield. Starfield, I have
Halo.
the Halo gear and a Federation starship. Star Trek has made it where you can cross over multiple universes easy, just the way they do dimensions and all of that. But take Middle Earth, for example. Star Trek has created a universe that there is magic and telekinesis and all that in their world. Middle Earth, if you ignore the lore that Middle Earth is distant Earth past, you could actually have that as a planet that exists in unexplored space in Star Trek or Star Wars, if you want to go that route.
Really?
Yeah. Any single planet world universe that you can think of could work in a galaxy spanning universe like Stargate, Star Wars, Star Trek, all of those. So those can exist. I think Stargate touched on stuff like that similarly before.
Kind of, yeah. And like Star Wars, when they brought E.T. into Star Wars, which means Earth is a thing in the Star Wars universe. It has to be because E.T. went to Earth.
Because in Star Wars, you got E.T., and in Star Trek, you have the Millennium Falcon. I think it's Star Trek First Contact, where they're actually opening with the scene fighting the Borg. If you actually look at one of the ships, it's the Millennium Falcon flying around.
Or Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You remember that one where when he goes in to find the Grail or whatever? There's like R2D2 and C3PO. There's a hieroglyphic on the wall of them.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I see. What's funny?
They're all Steven Spielberg. So
what's funny is a lot of people sit there and say it's not canon unless it's on screen. Well, I've seen Star Trek episodes where you see the droids on screen. I've seen Star Wars episodes where they try throwing Star Trek in there. It's like it can work.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen. But I would like, okay, so we all know that Magic the Gathering has done tons of different crossovers, but it'd be cool to see, like, there's Final Fantasy in Magic the Gathering, but it'd be cool to see Magic the Gathering in the Final Fantasy world.
Okay, I'm about to go extremely nerd here. Not Final Fantasy. Magic the Gathering has a novel universe that is written and is canon to the Magic Gathering world. There are people called planeswalkers that can go to these different planes.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy can be a planes. You can be a character or a group of characters from the Magic Gathering universe and go to Final Fantasy instead of just the other way around. It can be done.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like, that'd be really cool because there's a lot of creatures and stuff. There's a lot of creatures and stuff like what if, because these are my favorite, what if like slivers like came through and like invaded Midgar? Like,
that
a whole horde of slivers attacking Midgar. Like, I mean, there are creatures that are very sliver looking in Final Fantasy. Like, you could do it, and then
so evil.
It's sweet. Like, you could do cool things like that.
Yeah,
or even Lord of the Rings. I mean, you could bring Lord of the Rings into things.
Sliver. Magic the Gathering ties into Halo with the slivers being the actual replacement to the Flood.
Or the slivers. The slivers attack the xenomorphs for dominance.
So there's
That'd be
another
awesome.
one that could actually cross over the Aliens universe because of the
What
way
if
they
they-
explain it.
Dude, what if they crossed over the Aliens universe with the Predator universe? Wouldn't that be cool?
Whoa, that would be epic.
I would just- We've only seen that a few times.
Only a few, but no, there's so many universes that would be really cool to see crossed over, and a lot of the ones we like already have the method to do the crossover in their canon.
Right, and whenever they do those crossovers, like just to be funny, they always turn out like kind of cool. Like, like you know, Alien versus Predator. That turned out kind of cool. Like the first one did. The second one was, but the first one was kind of cool, and like the new one that they just did was really cool. Or like completely out of left field here, but like when they crossed over Freddy versus Jason. Like I thought that was going to be the dumbest movie ever, but it was actually one of my favorites in both series. Like it was good. Like that was an epic battle. Like these two immortal demons that are like preying on people, and they set them to prey on each other, and that was like amazing. Like it was great. I loved it.
There's even in the same universe, but different quote unquote canons. Going from animated to live action crossovers. If they can do that just leaves so many stories that would be interesting. Like, man, I can't even think of any that right off the top of my head because we already got live action Transformers, Power Ninja Turtles. I wish they would explore more the Ninja Turtle Power Ranger crossovers.
You know what I think the crossover that they need to do, the crossover that everyone wants. Superman and Dragon Ball Z. See once and for all who would win, Goku or Superman.
It ends in a draw as the planet's destroyed from a spirit bomb.
I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna throw out my opinion here. I think Goku clears easy. I don't think it's even close.
You got to think of it this way. Superman gets his powers from a yellow sun. Goku can travel across space and get away from the yellow sun. And Superman will lose his powers.
Goku could lift his finger and destroy the yellow sun.
Well, that is true. Oh, there's another one. I would love to see a Mortal Kombat. I would actually like to really see a Mortal Kombat Street Fighter crossover.
I would like to just see a good Street Fighter movie. Period.
Hey,
I haven't made a good one yet.
They have. They're just animated.
Oh well, I mean, I'm talking movie.
Live action.
Like, they did it with Mortal Kombat. They've made a really good Mortal Kombat, and now the second one's about to come out, and hopefully it's good too. Looks pretty good.
But they had to make a couple of bad Mortal Kombat ones.
Hold on before you get going there, Skippy. The first one was good. The second one was bad.
The second one was bad, and then that mini YouTube series that they turned into a movie series.
That doesn't count. The first Mortal Kombat was a little bit campy, but it was a good movie. The second one was so bad. But the new one's good. And I think that the Mortal Kombat 2 is going to be good too.
Here's what I want.
They still haven't made a good Street Fighter because the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme was not good.
Not at all. It was what it was, but it wasn't good. Now,
the Chun-Li movie wasn't good.
Here's one for you. I was just thinking about it. My mind just went blank. What were we talking about? We were talking about Mortal Kombat. I was thinking, was it Power Rangers? Man, I had this cool one in my mind, and now I can't remember. Oh, Galaxy Quest and
Lost me
Orville.
already.
Galaxy
Oh.
Quest and Orville crossover.
Oh my. Oh my. Ooh. Ooh.
What?
Ooh. The Simpsons and Family Guy crossover.
They did that.
When? What?
Yeah,
No, they didn't.
yeah. It was Family Guy episodes.
And they had the Simpsons.
They went to Springfield.
What?
Yeah. Peter and Homer got into a fight.
What? Okay, now I'm gonna have to watch that after the show. Okay. Okay. American Dad and South Park.
Oh God, South Park crossover with anybody.
Yeah.
Because we've already had the Family Guy Star Wars crossover.
Yeah. Ooh, a Family Guy Lord of the Rings crossover.
Well, that could be interesting.
Timmy could be Gollum. Instead of going Gollum, he'd be like Timmy.
I'm curious what our listeners think for crossovers.
Now I want a Lord of the Rings South Park crossover.
Hey, War Makita, tell us what you think would be a good crossover.
Yeah.
Same for you, Mossy, because we want to know what y'all think of good
Mossy's always got some fun opinions. So. Or
Yeah,
the one who came up with the topic. What are his crossovers?
Echo Romeo Lima, what are your crossovers you'd like to see? We'd like to hear your inputs on what y'all think. And y'all can fill that out in the Discord. And obviously, because we're talking about the content idea, we talked about Mossy's comments. We actually read this stuff.
Yeah.
So we're getting near the end of our show because
we kind of need to. We're getting up there in time on this episode.
I know, right? One. Over an hour long so far. So yeah, we check our Discord on a regular basis. Discord.gg/raw podcasts. We're always in there. We will actually have long conversations with y'all. You just heard we gave shout outs to 3 of our listeners that listen to us on a regular basis. And I keep looking up at the Discord because while recording, I have Discord up in case somebody comes up with a question while we're recording. So my Discord's always on.
Mine's always on my phone. For some reason, when I try and record, it gives me like an error, though. If I try and have Discord on at the same time, it gives me some error because of my mic and video trying to be used in 2 different places. And yeah, I don't know. So, but I have it on my phone right here, always with me. So
thanks for reminding me because my Discord goes through my headset. Here's the mic for it. I was still logged into chat on the Discord while recording.
Why am I not surprised?
This is my mic I use for Discord, or not Discord, but for recording.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I was like, oh, I'm still in. But yeah, you can also, if you want to reach out to us or anybody you know wants to reach out to us, just to give us an email because they don't have Discord because they're not in the times, or because you want to keep it purely professional and business, you can reach us at podcastraw@gmail.com. Again, we both get these notifications on our phones.
Always. Yep. Mm-hmm. Come through immediately.
What's
Don't
our other
be
one?
Shy. Talk to us. We'll talk to you back.
Yep. X. I don't really check our X that often.
I don't really either.
Primarily because of the kind of posts that lately, how political everything's been. But
I try and avoid X lately.
I do believe I do get the notifications every once in a while. But Facebook, Raw Podcast, you can reach us there. I get notifications. I created the page, so I get notifications on my Facebook page saying, hey,
I do too.
Raw Podcast has
I get them too. Our Instagram,
our Instagram, you can reach us there. I get notifications on my Facebook page saying, hey, Raw Podcast has. Yeah, I get them too. Yeah, I get them too. Our Instagram, you can reach us there. I get notifications on my Facebook page saying, hey, Raw Podcast has. I get them too.
Yeah, I get them too. Raw Podcast 1.
Swapped it around. Expect in November to see more posts from that, by the way. This is my announcement. I am trying to get up to Michigan to go to Grand Rapids Comic-Con. So Kilo, if you're actually listening to the show, you should join us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Dude, we were just talking about that earlier. Like, if you could come and hang out with us at Comic-Con, that'd be awesome, dude. We'd love to hang out with you and see you in person and finally get to meet you in person. That'd be cool.
That would be awesome. So that's going to be in November. So you can see more Instagram posts. Our YouTube will actually be, I went out and bought Rhodes strictly for that. There's 2 mics, so both of us will be able to walk around with mic'd up. I think that's everything. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We want to get more popular, and that helps us out a lot. We're still a fledgling YouTube channel, even though we've had our podcast posted up there a lot. Seems we get a lot more traction with our videos, so we'd love it if you actually like and subscribe and get us out there more. And tell us word of mouth. That's a great way to spread us. Please, if you know friends that love nerdiness, put them in our direction.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I think that's everything now.
That's all we got for this week. So we will see you guys next week. And have a great week, guys.
Y'all stay nerdy.